Hi everyone, welcome to the Keys to Health program of the Sharp Community Medical Group. This is Timmy Augustine, MSN, RN, and we are on session 8, focusing on taking charge of what's around you. Today's topic introduces working with those negative cues that prevent our moving forward on our plan for better health and trying to replace them with positive cues. Our goal this week is to continue increasing our physical activity to at least 150 minutes. We will quickly review last session's goals, and that was session 7, which is about tipping the calorie balance. Some reminders: if you are planning to attend in class, you have to contact us by the email or by dialing 858-499-3511 or emailing us at scmg.k2h@sharp.com. Please do remember that after viewing the webinar, make sure to click and answer on the survey or the post-class assessment, and make sure to indicate or put your weight and the physical activity duration in terms of minutes. So here are program goals. Just a reminder, the program is designed to prevent or delay the type 2 diabetes through lifestyle modification. 2 main program goals for each and every one of you will be to achieve a weight loss of 7% over 6 months' time, and then maintaining that weight loss and working into at least 150 minutes of moderate physical activity each week. Session 7 was about tipping the calorie balance. Remember that calorie balance is the difference between the calories you take in through eating and the calories you actually use or burn through physical activity and, of course, metabolism. Food and activity work together to determine how much you weigh. To lose weight, we must eat fewer calories and to be more active. As a general guideline, 1 mile of brisk walking, which takes most people about 15 to 20 minutes, will burn about approximately 100 calories. Are you guys keeping track of your steps every day? On an average, 4,000 steps will give you at least 30 minutes of physical activity. On the other hand, 10,000 steps will be approximately 100 minutes of physical activity. What strategies have you been using from the past few weeks in terms of your physical activity? What other tips can you think of that you have used to be more physically active? How are you doing in visualizing where you want to be at the end of 6 months? Are you actually near towards the goal? And are you able to give yourself credit for all you do to maintain a healthy diet and work on working your physical activity every day? Session 8 deals with taking charge of what's around you. In this session, we focus on food and activity cues that are positive and negative. At the end of the session, you should be able to change your negative food and activity cues and transform it into positive ones. Next, add positive cues for activity and eliminate cues for inactivity. Lastly is to develop a plan for removing one problem food cue for the coming week. It is important to become aware of the many positive and negative triggers that influence our behavior related to eating and activity. The good news is that we can make food and activity cues work for us. The negative cues can be getting in our way of eating less fat or being more active, especially if we are not aware of them. It is important to build positive lifestyle cues into our daily routine. How will we start? The session's goal is to actually step back to identify factors or triggers, which are called cues, that make us want to eat and avoid physical activity. Also, talk about how cues affect us, discuss ways to change problem habits, find ways to enhance positive cues for activity, and lastly, talk about how can we take charge of those cues so that we'll be able to reach our goals. In this slide, talks about the basics of habits. Triggers are situations that initiate our desire for food or activity. On the other hand, cues are repeated triggers that become habits over time. Responses to those habits become more and more automatic and can be difficult to change. Changing habits require us to take control and stay in control. Food cues affect how much we eat, and activity cues affect our level of activity. Cues can be what we see, what we smell, and how we feel. Cues are all around us. It takes time to change old habits and build new, healthier ones. Think about what food and activity cues you have in your life, and be aware of them and use those information to build better habits. We'll take a look at some of the most common food cues or cues in general on the coming slides. Common food cues. First, we start off with hunger. One reason we eat is because we're hungry. Another one will be when we're thinking or feeling. You might eat because you're lonely, bored, or possibly unhappy. For other people could be a cue because they will be cues when you see them, you eat something because it's something that's being offered by another person. How can we change those food cues to more healthy cues? Some of the more common food cues will be still the sight or smell of food. You see an ice cream in the freezer or in a TV commercial. Then you decide to have some. Certain activities such as watching TV or reading magazine may take you think about eating. And then an example will be you automatically buy popcorn when you go to movies. When you respond to a food cue in the same way over and over again, that becomes a habit, which then becomes automatic. Other problem food cues will be fast food restaurants and convenience stores on every corner. Easier to get because these are inexpensive, high-fat foods at any time of the day or night. Supermarkets are another one. They actually put new products on the shelves that are actually easier to see and reach. Think about those chips that are on eye level, which are convenient to spot and pick up anytime when you're at the store. What can you do not to respond to these cues? you may want to take a look at changing food cues and habits, which is actually a handout in your notebook. Remember, it takes time to break an old habit or build a new one, and change does not happen overnight. It is important to become aware of the many events and situations that have a strong influence on our eating and activity behavior in both positive and negative ways. Now, this slide talks about transforming your food cues to healthier ones. A good way to make a healthier food choice is to avoid the food cue. Stay away from the concession stand at the movies. If you keep going to the movies, do not let yourself have a popcorn. Slowly, you will stop thinking about the popcorn at the movies. Or another one will be to try to build a new, healthier habit. Rent movies to watch at home and air pop your own popcorn. You can eat it without butter. Other tips where we can transform food cues into your healthier food cues will be at a TV or computer, make it a rule never to eat while watching TV. Or you could keep an exercise bike near the TV while performing the biking while watching. Allow yourself only gum when watching TV. In terms of candies and sweets, do not bring them into the house. If you do bring them into your home, keep them out of sight. If you must have candy or sweets, buy a smaller size. Other tips in transforming your food cues into healthier food choices will be stop stocking high-fat and high-calorie foods, storing them out of sight, make them hard to reach. Keep those low-fat and low-calorie foods easier to reach in sight and ready to eat. Limit high-fat, and high-calorie food to those that require you to cook them. Make a rule not to eat while cooking. Other ideas will be when cooking, taste foods only once for a seasoning. Then rinse your mouth with water or have a breath mint. Rinse any utensils used in food preparation immediately after use, or you could ask someone else to taste the food. Put leftovers away even before you eat your meal. That way, you could approximate your own portion size. What about when you are at the dinner table? Put food on the plates in the kitchen. Use smaller plates or bowls. Serve smaller portions. As soon as you ate or you are done eating, remove your plate from the table. Don't finish the food that your children or your family members leave on their plates. What about challenges getting to work? Fast food places on your way to and from work is another concern. When you actually see them, it gives cues that you want to eat or crave for them. Try to take a different route. Make a rule never to eat inside the car. Prepare a healthy lunch or breakfast the night before so you're ready to go in the morning. Then there's food cues at work. Donuts in the break room or candy on a desk. Avoid those areas. I know it's very tempting. Bring low-fat and low-calorie snacks to share with the other employees or your co-workers. High-fat and high-calorie food isn't around on your desk or your locker. Do not bring these foods to work or keep healthier snacks handy. Think about vending machines at work. There could be some on your workplace. Try to avoid vending machines. Bring low-fat and low-calorie snacks instead, coming from home. Buy pretzels or low-fat and low-calorie snacks. Ask a friend to purchase a low-calorie snack for you so you will not be tempted by cookies or chips. These are very tempting, especially if you're hungry. So these are a lot of the food cues that we talk about. These are just a summary. Again, you might want to keep high-fat and high-calorie foods out of your house or workplace, or just keep them out of sight. Keep low-fat and low-calorie foods which are easy to eat and ready. Fresh fruit, raw vegetables, non-fat dips, pretzels, low-fat popcorn, diet drinks could be some. When eating meals, limit your eating to one place. Eat at the table instead at your desk, computer, or TV. When you eat, don't do anything else. Eat your meal without watching TV, driving, or talking on the phone. Focus on enjoying the meal. These are a list of more healthy suggestions. When shopping for groceries, think about making a shopping list. Don't shop when you're hungry, you're emotional, and try to keep in mind, avoid tempting areas of the store like the bakery. Healthy foods tends to be on the perimeter of the store, and you could ask the store manager to order low-fat and low-calorie foods you want, and use food coupons for healthy foods. The next slide talks about adding positive activity cues to your life. We talked about a while ago trying to eliminate those food cues or transforming them into healthier ones. Now it's time for us to deal with adding positive activity cues. In the living room or bedroom, keep your exercise shoes, bag, and equipment inside. Hang an activity calendar and grab your activity in a visible place. Keep a stationary bike or exercise mat in front of the TV. Hang a photo or poster of an outdoor scene or people being active. These are some tips on how to add some positive activity cues into your life. You might be thinking of how to add more activity cues at home, which are positive. In the living room, you may want to subscribe to a health or exercise magazine and keep it visible. Buy a home exercise video and leave it in a coffee table or TV as a reminder to use it. You could put a note on the TV reminding you that half-hour TV time could be used for walk instead. You could also probably do that note on your computer monitor. In the kitchen, post motivational photos on the refrigerator, outdoor scenes, or reminders to be active. In the bathroom, post a reminder on the mirror to be active during the day. How about in the garage? Keep the car in the garage. Choose to walk to the neighbor's house instead of driving. Keep your exercise shoes, bag, and equipment in the front seat of your car. Keep a bicycle in working condition and ready to ride, minding it, making sure that it is in a visible place. At work, here are additional tips you could think about and try to implement to be more active at work. Keep your walking shoes in a visible place in your office. Put a note on your office door or computer reminding you to take a walk during your lunch break. Set an alarm on your watch or computer calendar to remind you to take a walk. Make a regular daily appointment with yourself to be active. Put the appointment in your calendar. Can you think of other activity cues that we have not discussed? We're almost done for this session, and here is a summary of Session 8. In this presentation, we'll look at the kinds of food and activity cues that trigger us to behave in unhealthy ways. We talk about ways to change those cues by avoiding those that stand in the way of our goals and or replacing them with positive cues. In this session, lastly, we work on a plan how to begin removing negative food and activity cues. Here will be the next steps for our next session. As you finish this webinar, I try to highlight what steps you will be taking after watching this presentation. Try to remove one problem food cue. Which one will it be? Add one positive cue for being more active. What will you add? Make sure you keep on tracking your weight, your food intake, and your physical activity duration in minutes. And do your best to reach your weekly goals for diet and activity. I'd like to remind to continue to find ways to become physically active. Again, our goal for the week, which will be 150 minutes a week for physical activity. Remember that this time can be broken into smaller segments of 30, 20, or 10 minutes. I'll leave you with this question. What habits will I choose to enforce? We can make these changes. It just takes time and awareness. For the next sessions, there are 16 sessions in the intensive course series of the program and 6 post-course maintenance sessions. The sessions are available by webinar or attendance in person. If you need to attend via webinar or in person, let us know your preference by contacting us at scmg.k2h@sharp.com or by giving us a call on 858-499-3511, and we will be happy to put you on the list, whether on-site or online. We are here to help achieve your goals And again, this is Timmy Augustine, MSN, RN, educator for the Keys to Health program, Sharp Community Medical Group. Thank you for viewing the presentation.